Hello and welcome to the first episode of TribalTalk, a short-form discussion show from TribalScale, creating open discussions for topics in the tech industry. Today I'm joined by Brandon Wallace, Sam Linehan, and Ben Carvalho as we discuss the announcement of Apple's Vision Pro from last week and how they see developers creating innovative apps that bring the Vision Pro miles above the competitors. Each of our guests brings their unique insights and opinions to the table for what's certain to be a great discussion. So there's your introduction. Thanks again to all of you for joining us today. And let's kick it off with everyone's initial thoughts on the Vision Pro once you did see it was released and kind of what you expect from it when it's releasing early next year. So I'll start with Brandon. You can jump in and we'll continue from there.
Sure thing. Thanks, Connor. Yeah, in my opinion, really excited for this in terms of so many different aspects. For me, just, off the cuff, finally something innovative from Apple. I feel like recently it's just been a lot of extra lenses on the back of phones. So I'm glad to see like this is truly, going to disrupt so many industries. And I truly find it's almost groundbreaking. I'm once again also really excited about the potential of spatial computing, the idea of it, essentially the future's now. It's almost eerily reminiscent to so many movies that you see out there. And honestly, I'm really I've had the prior opportunity to work in a few industries, such as, the courtside experience for sporting events, fashion in terms of garment trying on and merch, and music festival front row. And the type of immersion in terms of experiences that the Apple Pro gives is really exciting. And I can, at the time, many years ago, working on those things, the need for this, as we relied heavily on AR, the need for something like this in terms of accessibility for all is going to be great. So right now, if any, is the time to hop on. And if you're a developer out there, start thinking about ways that you can leverage this new technology from Apple. It's also great to see that there's going to be two different price ranges, accessibility for all. So I just feel it might cannibalize so many industries. Like this is going to take over not only Apple's sales, but I think, for instance, TVs or whatever, you're going to see it's going to just, I believe it's going to be like revolutionary, essentially.
Awesome. Yeah. And obviously we've seen the high price point that this does come with at $3,500. So Ben, what's kind of your expectations going into that with the high price point? Where do you see them going with it? And more importantly, people developing on it? I think it starts this week. Where should they be looking to go to show those competitors kind of what the Vision Pro can do?
Yeah, first, there have been rumors about this device for years, perhaps. I had, some high expectations about what it would do about, the product itself. And I have to say that all of them are matched because they did something better than I could anticipate, better than I could thought they could be. And looks like they didn't save resources building this. Looks like everything is like the best of the best, top technology. So that kind of explain why it takes so long for to release the these glasses. So yeah, I think right now it's not for everyone. It's still expensive for most of the users. So, but definitely we're gonna have like early adopters that will buy this, in the first hour that it get released. But as a developer, uh, I'm still looking how I can, use this on my daily routine. Right now I have a Mac. I work on that. I have like, all my workflows on that, and I've been thinking how I can, use the glass on my flow as developer, not thinking what I can do with that. I believe that the things are, definitely a finite amount of products you can, develop for that glasses. But I just was thinking how I can, use that on my daily flow, how I can, take advantage of this VR, the Apple Vision on my daily flow. So yet I don't see like, buying this on the very first beginning, but I'm still impressed. I'm still impressed by the quality, the of the build. So somehow looking forward for the SE version of that, perhaps with not all the features, but with the same quality usually Apple build their products.
Great. Yeah, thank you, Ben. And I'll go to you, Sam. Obviously, we know when Apple release a product, it's usually the best of the best in terms of quality and build, and people are going to be, whether they actually need it or not, they're going to be buying this product because they, whether it's fear of missing out or they just want to experience that. And like we've seen with other companies that are building VR, you do see a lot of people that are buying them, trying them out, and then they sit on the shelf for 6 months until they see a game or a tool that they want to try on. And like I said, Apple are going to be looking to make a big dent in this industry, and they want to become, the top in this kind of virtual reality space. So personally, the first thing I thought of when I saw it was, yes, I saw the price point, but I also saw, could this replace my Mac? Could I put this on in the morning, plug it in, and have, the same amount of screens? Could I be able to have my meetings that I have in the morning and get all the work done that I need to get done? So do you see that being a possibility from launch? How do you see people using this straight away? And again, what do you think developers should be looking at straight away to start building for people when they grab this, whether it's launch day or weeks or months down the line?
Connor, you make a lot of really good points. I think a lot of good points shared by Brandon and Ben earlier. I know maybe I might put my skeptic hat on a little bit sooner than others, but I think overall it is something that I will honestly say is exciting. And thinking back to, or really think of the type of company that Apple is, as you mentioned, Connor, has such a large base of users and people that get excited whenever something is released. And I can't say for the exact history of other formative technologies from smartphones and tablets that Apple may not have been the first major company to be releasing these, but they're the ones that I think really started to make them more more popular and really pushing the boundaries of what can be developed and what users actually want out of this. So and I really, personally think very highly of Apple in terms of the hardware that they come up with, and being able to solve, as I mentioned, some of the skeptical, things that I'm thinking about here is, when I've ever used some sort of, I'm not saying it's fully VR or AR tool, but it's how are we going to try to solve for some of the practical human-based issues, which I'm seeing, Apple has released some information regarding, better tracking eye motion fatigue, because I remember when I started first using some of these tools, within the first 5 minutes, maybe it was just me, but I would immediately start to get, motion sickness. How do we, and Apple, I mean, they wrote down that, they're trying to better capture this, which I think they are, or I would trust them to do that. But I think that's something that is going to really be, a challenge, not just from a hardware perspective, but how can developers and designers, take that into account when designing, applications, for this. Another thing that, at least that I saw that might be, another area for opportunity for growth that developers, designers want to, I guess, start real developing new experience for is, for web experience. So I think, from my understanding from, Vision OS, a lot of these might be more like these native apps that are built on. However, I think, with working within web, opens up Safari as another platform, or maybe any other browsers that might need to be able to develop for these new 3D experiences. And also with Apple as well, also saw a few things that I'm excited about is that to be able to integrate with other Apple products, such as the Magic Keyboard or Magic Trackpad, which just makes makes it a lot more seamless to use this new piece of equipment. And I think overall, I think also, I hate to be the person to dampen out experiences, but I think not just on the price point, when this is going to start becoming available, it doesn't look like it's going to be available for purchase maybe until early next year, and that's just in the U.S. alone, and then not until later next year for other countries. So I think that's something to also really keep in mind, being keeping realistic expectations. But overall, I trust Apple as a company that can really push forward in in this new technology and creating that excitement and buzz for people that want to develop apps for this new technology.
Amazing. Yeah. Thanks, Sam. Kind of just what I've been thinking while listening to you guys talk. We obviously, I can't give you a number on how many years ago it was, but we saw Google Glass, which felt like a very similar kind of concept, that you are able to go kind of throughout your day with this product on. You're able to still get your work done, go for a walk, which obviously is a little bit tougher with the Vision Pro, but it was really blending this virtual reality with real life. You were able to take phone calls and video calls, and compared to competitors that we've seen over the past 4 or 5 years, that seems like what Apple's trying to do here. You're able to wake up in the morning, start work with this on. You can finish work. You can play games after, watch movies, FaceTime, speak with friends. It looks like there's a way that someone could wake up in the morning, go out throughout their day at their home, and then take it off and go to bed and do the same thing the next day. But which we have seen with those competitors, like I referred to earlier, people have been buying these mostly for what it seems like to watch YouTube, to watch Netflix, to play games. But you are locked into that system once you're in there. You do get the black and white camera that's not really real time, and people are going to be looking for a big game changer with this product if the videos we've seen so far from Apple are to be true. So aside from that, what I do want from each of you, and I'll open the floor here, is 1 or 2 key apps that you can think of, or at least you thought of straight away when you heard the release, that you could really think this is what people are going to really want to get this product for. I know, Brandon, you mentioned the courtside experience as one, but I'll open it to you guys. Maybe just some ideas you have that you could see kind of being a game changer with the Vision Pro compared to competitors so far.
Great point. For me, leaning back on sports, obviously these sporting events, if you wanted, for instance, I'm a football fan. I'm stuck all the way over here in Toronto. I could be sitting right there at the Emirates pitch side, right there at the halfway line from the seat of my couch. And it feels, once again, spatially, you can fully turn it on and it feels like you're fully immersed. So for me, once again, it'd be sports. And then they're also, another big industry for me would also be something like that their 3D image capture, but video share. So FaceTime in that sense might become really, really neat. And how you interact in terms of attending physically events, once again, whether it be family events or what have you. I think your FaceTime, like your WhatsApp and those type of communicating apps, those are the 2 that stuck out right away for me.
One of the first things that I talk about that would be, I like to watch movies, so that would be like to be on the movie theater, with the big screen, and whatever you are, if you're in the flight or at home, you could enjoy the max possible of that entertainment. So yeah, the first thing that I thought that would be nice to watch a movie on that screen. They have like the 4K display inside. What is amazing. I had in the past. I had one PlayStation VR, the first version that they had, and it was actually immersive, but the display inside was quite awful in terms of quality, and you could see the pixels, everything. And now with this 4K display inside, probably they will escalate the experience of watching movies at home, or at a flight or wherever. That's one of the first thing that I could think of me doing with this product.
Ben, to your point, there's also when you're watching that, I guess their trailer, they show you it's essentially similar to having a 4K TV per eye, which is absolutely ridiculous in terms of what you're going to be looking at and how many pixels they can fit in. It's crazy per square inch.
Yeah, Brandon, just going back on your thing as well. I'm a sports lover, and more importantly, football. We support the same club, and I do see a really good possibility. You think if, for example, we'll take Arsenal, the Emirates Stadium, they may charge, $100 to £150 for that very front row seat. I do see a possibility that, there's whether it's Apple TV, for example, have one seat dedicated every game that has whether it's a 3D camera or whatever that may be. I personally know I would. I guarantee you would as well, but I would probably pay $10 a game to have that seat instead of watching, on Sky Sports or on the Canadian channels as well. I think from a money standpoint, Apple could make good money off that as well. And again, they can do it with NFL, hockey, tennis, anything. That's a big possibility for them. I'm going to go to Sam here. obviously with TribalScale, we are a work from home company, as you can see here, but do you see a possibility in the future with this product for in-office companies that, there's 30 people in an office with this headset on that are, still have their computers but are throwing ideas around, and, everyone working what feels like one station through this platform? Do you see that being a possibility, years down the line, where everyone's, instead of a computer, has a Vision Pro, or do you see this as being kind of a one-man kind of product? You put it on and you're working on your own.
Yeah, I think that's something that I just, as you mentioned that, Connor, I think actually just sparks a few ideas in my mind about maybe some of the practical things or some of the things in part of, in software engineering that do happen where it is a lot easier to, or I think it's a lot more effective to be someplace in person. But if you can't, like, what can this new piece of technology help, make up for? So a number of things like an engineer, or even in, UI and UX design as well. If there's some activity that you need to do that's on like an actual physical whiteboard, for example, I think something maybe like these new headsets can better help with for example, there's one activity within software engineering called domain-driven design, where software engineers need to be able to map out a business domain for a problem that they're trying to solve, or a particular product that they're trying to build, and try to map all the different software components to that. And a lot of that's being used on the whiteboard with sticky notes or through other means to like a larger visual. However, having to do that through virtually on a laptop, it's definitely a little bit more difficult. You can get kind of close, but having some sort of your virtual whiteboard on a laptop, but that's a little difficult. However, with these new with this new technology, I think that can better immerse different engineers and different people on the team to be able to collaborate a lot more effectively through a tool like this. So I think there could definitely be areas where this can make up for being for employees and team members being fully remote, but trying to get a little bit closer to that in-person working experience that sometimes certain parts of our job do require. So I definitely think there are some opportunities for that.
For sure. Yeah, all good points. And let us all go here. I just want to close this out with one final question, a quick one for each of us. If we do see the Apple Vision SE, whether that's 2 years from now, or kind of is announced when this releases, what is a price point that each of you would like to see that SE version at, for you to think, okay, you know what, this is a lot more consumer friendly, and this is something I'm willing to try out compared to the competitors?
I think, to be honest, I don't think they will sell like a cheaper version for less than 1,000. So yeah, between 1,000 and $1,500 probably would be, if at least the experience is very similar. I know we can remove some of the features that are not that important for the experience, but if it is at least similar, I think that would be a fair price.
I totally agree, Ben. I think that was my number. If those prices right, I would have to pick a 1,001, because I would have wanted the same thing there. But yeah, same price range as Ben. But I'm all in. I'm ready to buy it as soon as it comes out. I put my name on the list. Like, the minute that's ready, call me up. I'm getting one. So I'm that guy. I'll let you know how it is.
Yeah, I think I'm close to in that range. I think as long as it's for something like less than an actual new piece like Mac, like a new laptop or a MacBook, I don't think I'd want to spend more than that. So I think around roughly $1,000. I know there are different MacBook models that could definitely price much higher, but on your basic MacBook, I wouldn't want to pay more than that for the new Vision Pro.
But Sam, to that point, pricing strategy. If now the Vision Pro is X amount, I'm going to make sure that I price my MacBooks and my computers a little bit higher to justify the spend on this new device. I think that's going to be a part of the ploy that we're going to see as well. I think we're going to see a raise in the price overall of the more important devices. When I say that, I mean like a full PC, etc.
Yeah, but actually, I don't think you can just have the Apple Vision, just Apple Vision, because you cannot use that all day and work all day long. At least I don't think that's possible because you gotta get the motion sickness really.
Yeah, I wonder how they're gonna combat that, because the first time like I ever put on 3D goggles, even 3D glasses, still felt kind of weird. And I'm talking like the red and blue film, you know what I mean? So even that felt kind of odd. So I wonder how they're going to combat that, because as a PM, that's going to be a pain point that you're going to want to address early. So interesting to see future iterations of this.
Yeah, and maybe we'll come back, a year from now, do this exact same thing, but we're all doing it on our Vision Pros, and we'll be able to give a 1 year later review, and maybe, maybe next season I'll see myself and Brandon front row at the Arsenal games and go from there. But yes, again, thank you all for this kind of short form discussion to get our initial thoughts on the Vision Pro. And like I said, maybe we'll come back in a year and see if we were close on the marks to things we said and where else they went with this product. But yes, this has been Tribal Talk. Thank you again all for coming on, and we'll speak to you all soon.
It's been a pleasure. Thanks, Connor. Cheers.